Let me tell you something. Now, the worst part about this story. My father was a third born. That was second born of 7 kids, and we were always the best, happiest family ever since I was born. We used to go for December celebrations at my grandmother's home. My grandmother is late, and my grandfather, I never saw them. They died before I was born. But we used to meet there every December and would catch up and would cook. But trust me, when we sold that, when we built this house, there were so many issues about family, and enmity came in because they wanted my father to build a house in the countryside, and my father wanted a place that is maybe a good place, because we built our house in an estate, a very good estate around there, along the highway. So well, so it brought a lot of enmity, and even the previous Christmas, because we moved on a Christmas time, 23rd of 2017. So 25th we spent the holiday in our house, and they were like, no, because they have gotten their own house, they won't be coming for our celebrations. So in 2018, when my dad got an accident, believe it or not, since from date 25th of November till date 25th of December, none of his family members, his brothers and sisters, none of them came to see him. Even that uncle that rescued him from that accident to the hospital, they never came to see him, even one day. And my father was like, even if these people hate me this much, this hatred is only 1 year, and we have been good since we were kids. This hatred is not normal. And every day he would ask, your aunties are not here, your uncles have not come to see me. And I would tell them that we are the only family you have. Forget about the rest. You just need to be healthy. Forget about the rest. So none of them came because it's another bad story I don't want even to share online for now, because I don't want enmity with my family members. So it was so painful. Every day I would go there, and my dad would ask me, like, every day I would go, and my dad would ask me, where is my family? And I was like, we are your family. And he said, my brothers and sisters. And I would tell them, maybe they are busy. And it's so bad because some of them are not even working. Okay, they're not even employed. Like they would. My father used to feel so bad that his brothers and sisters never went to see him even one day. And I told him that you're already working on that 25th. And he was like, on days like these, we're always together, all of us, our family, my brothers, sisters, and their kids. We're always together having Christmas together. Now they are not here. It's just you. That means all this time I didn't have a family apart from you. So it was not a very happy Christmas for us. It was happy because we saw him walk, but it was not happy because he was so emotional. And he was like, even if I did them wrong, that they would just tell me, and they didn't have to neglect me when I need them the most. The worst thing is that there's a place we used to sit in that home we used to go for Christmas, and they used to set food and drinks, and they sent those pictures on our status, their WhatsApp status. And when my father was perusing through my phone, because his phone was lost during the accident, he saw them posting and having all the everything that they wanted to do, and they was just posting. And my dad was like, they are posting so that I can see that they are having fun without us. It's okay, I don't have any other family apart from you. So that day was not the best. I remember we used to go, we were moving there, me, my mom, and my brother. We were going, one would go cry and then come back, another one would go because he didn't want to cry in front of my dad. On date 27, I think after 2 days, I went and told God, even if things like this happen, please give them a heart just for my dad. I went and cried to God. So on 27th, they all came in one car, in my uncle's car. They fixed themselves in one car, and they came, all of them, in the hospital. And then I was so happy to see them. And one of my aunties told us, I know you are wondering why we are not coming. And I was like, just go and see your brother. That is all we want from you. Don't even give us money. Just go and see your father, your brother. So they were there. There's always this one auntie that was my father's friend. So much, they were so close to each other, and she would come and tell me, I wanted to come, but I didn't have transport. I wanted to come. Even I'm the one who told them to come. They didn't want to come, and I told them, Auntie, you don't have to explain. The fact that you are here, just go and see my dad. When they went in that room, my dad cried, and he asked them, so you have remembered me? And it is so hypocritical that they all started crying, telling my father that you are going to come. They never sent even 100 bob to buy fruits. They never even asked my mom, how is the husband going on? Because they used to pass through my mom's place and they wouldn't even go to ask her, how is our brother doing? So my dad cried when he saw them. And I told my dad, I told you that your family love you and they are here. And he was like, these people are my family, but they have not been here for 1 month. They never wanted to know whether I'm still alive. They never wanted to know whether I'm still breathing. Why are they here now? Anyway, it's just, okay, they cried. Everybody in that room started crying, even the other patients. Imagine, and everybody, okay, we were used to getting extra time. So when everybody else was sent out, we were kept there. They allowed us to bond some, because now everybody wanted to know, why is that family crying, and this guy is already healed, like this guy has really improved. So it was so bad that everybody needed to know what had happened. So my aunties were there. It's not like we hate you, it's only that you refuse to come and build in the. I was like, what are you talking about? My dad was almost dying, and all you can say is that he was supposed to build in the. Oh, it was so bad. Let me tell you something. We never wanted even them to come and give us money, but all of them, some of them are so. People who are earning big money, they never had money. They just came, cried. They never even carried any. I don't know whether they carried fruit or anything. They just came, saw him, and left. They didn't even ask us, do you have even fare to go home today? They did nothing. I think they just came to just to say that we have been here. So, well, okay. It's okay. They just came, and that was okay. That is all that matters for my dad. So after that day, my dad was I want to go home. These people have told me that they didn't come to see me because this hospital is so far. I want to go home. So every day he was saying, I want to go home. And on that year, he was given he was released from the hospital and he went home. So another now, like, I think two of my aunties, they came to see my father at home, and my father felt bad because he was not able to leave the bedroom. He was like, when my brothers come, you're going to hold me. I stand on my crutches and I'm going to the sitting room and show them that I'm healing, because they thought I'm going to be handicapped. And he was not able, and he felt so bad. I remember he shed a tear and he was like, am I crippled now? I told him, no, you're not crippled, you're going to walk again. And he was like, am I paying for all the mistakes I've done in this world? And I told him, no, you have not done anything. God have already forgiven you. Remember, you're already saved. We said that prayer with you. And he was like, why is he punishing me? Why am I in so much pain? Why can't I walk? So I told him, all that matters is that your family have started coming to see you. So I took my aunties to his bedroom. By then, we didn't even have the doors for the bathroom. So they just went there, and I stood on the bathroom so they can see that the house is not complete, so that they can get some stories to go and talk. Or they moved and they didn't even complete their house. So they went and saw him. I think they only left some 300 or something, and it even got lost. I don't know. I said I've forgiven them. Yeah, I have forgiven them. So forgive my whatever I'm doing. So yeah, So they came, and after some few days, my dad started getting a pain from, and the wound started smearing. He was getting some dressing from a nurse he hired, but the wound started getting bad, and he started getting out of a headache, and he was not supposed to take more than the painkillers that he had been prescribed. So we told him that you have to go back to the hospital, and he didn't want. My father used to hate being in the hospital. Even when he was nose bleeding, he used to go to the hospital even that day, and he would leave the hospital before the days are over. So I remember that morning when he was leaving, he went into when he sat in that car, he was like, Mumbi, pray for me. I need to come back home. And I was like, why are you so sad? You're just going to the hospital for the dressing and are going to go back. And he was like, I don't know why I feel like I'm not going to come back home. And I was like, what are you even saying? Just shut up, just go to the hospital. Because I was left at home, take care of the things at home. So he told me that I don't know whether I'm going to come back home, but just pray to your God. Tell him I'm sorry. I need to come back home. And that thing really troubled me. I was left with crying and told God, I think he has suffered enough. Relieve this pain. And I don't know what I meant by that. I feel like I'm the one who made him die, but it's not okay. I'm not the one, because I just told God, relieve this pain from him. He have gone through so much pain and trauma. Even if he have sinned all his life, I think he have paid for it enough. So he went to the hospital, and after the dressing, it was so that you have to be admitted again. So the friend day when I went to the hospital, he told me, I don't want you to leave me here. We need to go back home. I have started dreaming with my mother and my father, and I told him that is so demonic. They are dead. They have no interact. They have no connection with you. So remember that security used to sneak me, and he told me, please pray for your father. He have been having bad dreams, and he have been even falling from the bed, falling down and saying he want to die. He have tried overdosing. So I got so troubled. I was like, is he trying to kill himself? When I went and asked him, he told me, I'm in so much pain, let me just go. I told him, where are you going? He told me, because you don't want me to go back home. He was so bitter. You don't want me to go back home. Let me just go to my mother, because I think they are asking for me. I prayed for him, and I called the doctors to give him an injection for him to sleep. When he woke up, he started doing what with his hands. It was like he was getting a stroke. So I called the doctors and told them, look at him, like, what is happening? He told me that he might get a stroke. You need to take him to another hospital for another checkup of the head. Because I told him, this is the time I noted that his head has started becoming small. And his hand were pale, and this side of the hand, it was so pale. So now we had to be told that we had to take him to another hospital. And this day, my brother came with his girlfriend, and my father told him, I need to talk to him, and it is urgent, but because you're with your girlfriend, come the next day, the following day, come without her. So the following day, it was the time that he was being transferred to Nairobi Women's, where he was going to have that another X-ray and surgery. I had surgery, because I think they noted that he had a clot that had already gone so much, because it was not noted 1 month ago in that hospital that he was taken after the accident. So I had people dying because of those clots getting to the brain. And another thing, I was so scared because my father never wanted a head surgery. And this time we have to sign, because he have already lost his conscience. After that night, he lost his conscience. The following day, I went to the hospital. He was in the ICU. After now the surgery, remember, my mom doesn't want to sign, my brother doesn't want to sign, my uncles and aunties, they don't want to sign, because it was so clear. He said that he doesn't want that head surgery. But my uncle said, no, we can't let him die. Let us at least try for him. I think we left the hospital, I think at 11 p.m., thinking whether we're going to sign for that thing. And then finally, my mother and my auntie and one of my uncles signed that he have to go for that surgery. And after that surgery, he never woke up. Okay, he woke up, I think, because this day when he woke up, he started calling my name again. I was so dear to my father. So the nurses were like, who is this Mombi? When I went, that day I never went to the hospital. My mom told me, tomorrow you have to go. Your dad is asking for you. So I was so happy to hear that my dad, after the surgery, he woke up. So the surgery was successful. So I'm there. That day I went, and he was just calling my name. He was not saying anything else. When I went there, he was told by the nurses, "Mombi is here," and he opened his eyes a little bit, and he was like, "Mom, you are here," and I was like, "Yeah, Daddy, I'm here." So you see, the surgery was okay. He was like, "They did a surgery on my head," and I was like, "No, no, no," because the nurses told me, "Don't tell him that we have operated on his head. He might get shocked." So this is where the trouble came in. This is on the date 1 of January or date 2, because I remember that day that I never went to the hospital. We were with my friends, and my mother told me that my father needs blood. I don't know which blood group is that. At he only have to be given by one. There's only one blood type that can be transferred to him, but he could give to all. I think O negative or O positive. I don't know. So I remember I was calling out my friends, "Do you have this blood type?" Kumbe, people don't know their blood types. Even me, okay, to date, I don't know what my blood type is. My blood group. Is it my blood type or group? I don't know. To date, I don't know. But one of my cousins, he had that type, and he had some friends. Okay, you people, please know your blood groups. You might save somebody. So there's this cousin of mine. We were not even close. When he heard that his uncle was in need of that blood, he carried 3 of his friends. They actually gave more blood than it was needed. But unfortunately, that's not the one that my father was going to be given. So even the hospital were like, "Hey, how did you find 3 people who know each other having this blood group?" I think it is very rare. I don't know which blood group is that. So they went and gave that blood, and it was more than enough. So this day I went to see my dad, and I saw that paper, I don't know, that thing that have that blood, I don't know what it is called. That pocket, it is almost getting done, and I was like, "Yo, you gave more than enough blood. Why haven't you given him more?" Like, they were like, "That one must be finished so that we can put on another one." So after that day, after now, I tried to converse with my dad, and he was like, "I love you so much. And whatever happens, just know I love you so much." And I was like, "Dad, whatever happens, that we are going home. Now you are okay. Your leg is okay. Your head is okay." He had 2 operations on the same day, or 2 days consecutive. I don't know. But unfortunately, that was on day 3. This time that we are conversing with my dad, and he's telling me that, "I told your brother to come and see me, and he never came. So just know I love you so much. And whatever happens, I love you so much. And you know everything that belongs to me. You know everything." Like, I was the one who had all the passwords and everything for my dad. So I think that is what he meant. And he was like, "I will surely go home." When I told him we are going home, he told me, "I will surely go home." And I didn't know that he was saying that he's going to die. I never noted by then. So when he went home, I remembered what my dad told me, that I will surely go home. Why didn't he say I'm going to come home? He said that I will surely go home. So that night, I told my mom, my sister-in-law was in the house and she had already cooked. And I told my mom, "I feel like you should put off your phone so that we can sleep." My mother was like, I fear that somebody might call." And I told her, "Let us switch off the phone so that we can sleep." When I took my mother's phone, because she had already moved from now her bedroom to leave it for my father, she was sleeping in my room, because the other room is for the guests, and it was my sister-in-law was staying there. So she was in my bedroom, and I took her phone to switch it off before we sleep, and a call comes in. So I picked that call, and it was from the hospital. They were saying, "Just come in the hospital. It is urgent. Come to the hospital. It is urgent." And my dad has just come from an operation, and he told me he's going home. So me, I was like, "Oh, they are calling us to take him home," because when they told me, I told them it is an emergency. I know he have trouble. Do you want to come home? And he was like, that person said yes. So I told my mom, "Let's go and go for my father. They have said that we can go for him." So my mom was like, "Okay, even if he have really troubled them to come home, it is midnight. Why do they want us to take him at night?" So when we told my brother, because he was in the other house, we called him and he started crying. And I was like, "Why are you crying? If you don't want to go, you can just be left." And I think my father felt that my dad had died. And all this time I never knew. So we called our neighbor, and we were all fitted in one car. Like, all of us, everybody wanted to go. So I was like, okay, we have all fitted in this car. Where are we going to put my father? Because we are going to take my father home. And I think everybody noted that he's dead, apart from me, because I was so positive. So we went to the hospital and we sat there outside the ICU, and then we were told, no, we sat outside the reception, and then we were called to go inside the ICU. They started planting some chairs for us to sit. And I was like, why are you sitting outside here? I want to go and see my dad. And they were like, just sit there. So after they tried to they put some seats on the corridors of the ICU and the HDU and all those rooms, and I was like, why are you telling us to sit here? I want to go and see my dad. After all, you said you're going to be coming for him. So where are we sitting outside the ICU? If he's going home, he must be in the wards. So I tried to sit on that chair, and I felt like something pushed me up. I just rose up and I went outside. And I told my mom, they are calling you, they are going to sit there. Me, I just want to go to the wards and take my dad home. So when they went there, my brother came outside crying. And I asked him what is happening, and he told me, don't cry. Hey? I told him, why are you crying? We are here to take my dad. Why are you crying? You don't want him to come home. Why are you being foolish? So my brother told me the worst words I've ever heard since I was born. And he was like, Mummy, don't cry, but Dad is no more. I remember I just asked my brother, where's my mom? Because I was like, I don't know, I got some strength. And I just asked, where is my mother? Why are you here? You're supposed to be with mom. So my mother came outside, and I remember I went and hugged hugged her so tight, and she cried. I told her, Mom, it's okay. At least he's not feeling the pain that he was feeling. So I left my mother outside there, and I told the doctors I want to see my dad. And one of my friends who we had gone with, my neighbor, she told me, I want to take you there, because she had lost her father like the previous year, January. So she told me, I was there last year, time like this, and I know how it feels to be there. So let me just take you. So we went, and my father was sleeping on that bed so peacefully. My father was so brown. He was so cute on that bed. And I told them, no, these people don't know what they are saying. I don't know. I think there is some oxygen that still remains after you have died. It's like you are struggling to breathe. So I felt like he had struggled to breathe. And I told those doctors, why you do it there? My father is trying here to breathe. Try to do something. And they told us we have tried to save him like 3-4 times with those ions that are put on the chest to try and jumpstart the best word. And he died at midnight 12:04, and the time I was switching off the phone trying to switch off my mother's phone, it was I think 12:10 or something. So I think they called us like 6 minutes of trying. After trying and everything, they called us to tell us to go and take the body, because that hospital doesn't have a mortuary. I think that is what I had, Nairobi Women's. So so we were there, and I told my friend, my father is not dead. Have you ever seen such a peaceful person died? Have you ever seen such a peaceful person in a casket? Those people are always black. My father is very brown. And now the doctors try to tell me now, okay, they're always like this, but he's going to turn black as time goes by because his blood is going to clot. And I was like, I got crazy. I went and hugged my dad. I shook him. This time when I went to the room, I took a photo of him when he was sleeping on that bed, and he was so peaceful. So I took his hand like this and dropped it, and his skin was so pale. So my friend just hugged me and started crying. I think she remembered her dad. So she started crying, and I was like, why are you crying? Okay, your father is dead, my father is not. So they started taking me out because I was causing commotion, and there are other people who are sick. It is in the ICU. He was in the first bed. So they took me out, now trying to talk to me, and I was like, I don't need your advices. I took my mother's phone. I called everybody I knew on that phone. I started with my auntie. another auntie of mine that is not even here right now, I called her and she was like, maybe it is at night. I told her, Auntie, I'm telling you my father is dead. You're telling me it is night. What do you mean? I called even those evil sisters of his, and there's one of them who was screaming, oh, and I was like, why are you screaming? You wanted him dead. Come and eat him. I was so bitter with her. Why are you screaming? I just notified you because you are the sister. I called all his sisters and brothers, telling them that he's dead. I hope now you are happy, because they had showed him so much negligence, and I don't know, how can you be bitter to somebody who is suffering? Like, can you just wait for him to get better? So I was telling them in the worst way. I was just calling them, hello, your brother is dead, and I would I would end the call, let them die there or scream or whatever they used to do. But if you're watching this, my aunties, I have forgiven you. Like right now, that was just bitterness and pain. Right now, I think I've forgiven you. So if you watch this, don't blame me or don't come for me. But if you wish, you can still come for me, because at this point, I feel like all is done and said. So after that, it didn't end there. So we took our father to a mortuary the following day. I was left in the house. I cried the whole time. We mourned for almost 5 days before my aunties and uncles could come for the committee. They were like, they put up a setup for mourning in the Ushago, and people used to come to our house. So I don't know what they wanted to do. Like, they wanted to collect that money for what, or where were they holding a morning whatever in that place. Like, people used to leave that town and come to our house, because we were setting up two places for morning, and it is not even far. Like, I don't know what they were trying to do. So when they saw that people are not going to mourn with them, now they came for the committee, I think in the 6th day. And I told my mom, I don't want photos on that day, because when my uncle died, I used to watch that video and I would cry. And I told my mom, I don't want a video for my dad's burial. I don't want photos, because I don't want to see those sisters and brothers of him crying, like hypocrites there, and yet they didn't love him when he was alive. So I said in that committee, I don't want any photos on that day, and I wish they just took those photos. I wish they did, because I would have some memories, because I don't know who just took my phone on the day of the burial and deleted all my father's photos, deleted even the photo that I got of him when he was dead. And that was the only memory I had. He did that foolish friend of mine. I don't know who it is, and I hope I'll never know. He deleted all the photos I had about my dad, and all the videos. My father didn't love photos that much, but I used to force him to get photos. And I thank God that Google had saved some of the photos that you see me posting right now, because I didn't have any memory about my dad. That person even deleted the phone contact. And then when I asked in the evening, somebody told me, okay, it's okay, because now you're not going to be crying looking at those photos. Seriously, did I even say I want them deleted? Anyway, never do that to somebody, because I felt so bad. So so they came, I don't know what they said, because I never used to go to that committee, because I had a group of friends, like 30 of them from the next estate. Our estate was still new, but there's another estate that I had some few friends who now mobilized people. We were so close with those people. After that, they used to come to our house 10 in the morning, 10 in the evening, during the day to help. And in the evening, they would all come with the other 10 who are working. Like, I had a very big support system during my father's mourning period. I never even, if for some point, I never felt the grief or something, because they used to occupy me the whole time. And it was when everybody would call and hear that my dad had died, they would call and ask, how is Mombi? And I was like, these people are asking about me. Don't they know that he had a wife? Like, everybody was asking, am I okay? Because they knew we were so close with my dad. So my friends knew, if we leave this girl for 1 minute, she's going to go nuts. Okay, at some point I feel like I wish they allowed me to grieve at that moment, because I came to get a depression afterwards. Because after they have been there, when somebody have people around them and they are supposed to be mourning, you don't get that chance to mourn. It is very okay, but never tell somebody, stop crying, we are here. Because they used to tell me, why are you crying and we are here? Don't you appreciate our presence? So I didn't used to cry when they were there. I didn't even mourn. They would come give me food, but I don't know why I used to vomit so much. And I became so skinny. In my life, I've never, okay, since I started eating, knowing how to eat, I had never lost weight. I lost weight in that time. I went from, I think, 80 something to 60. I lost out of weight in that 1 week. And my mother too, I think she lost almost 20 kgs around that period between my father's accident and when he was buried. My mother lost out of weight. So, because she didn't even eat when I was like, that time I was eating and vomiting, she used not to eat. If you give her food and she's seated here, she would wake up and go to another seat just to avoid the food. And my mother loves githeri so much, but at that time nothing was going through her throat. She used to take porridge and teas and bread, those simple things. So so I never grieved. Like, my friends had occupied me the whole week when I was grieving my dad. So on the day of the burial, it's like nearly had lost some, I don't know. Because now when I saw my father in that casket, I started screaming, why is he black? I left him when he was white. You know, it was so crazy. Like, it was so crazy. I remember my brother telling me, now you have me. I don't know how I left that place where we were viewing the body to another site. It was in, I don't know how it happened, but I can remember screaming after seeing my dad. After I cooled down, I went back and I told my uncle, I want to see him one more time, because I don't think you have taken the right person. Why is he that dark? Have you ever seen your brother like this? So I was asking my uncles, have you ever seen your brother this dark? Is this my father? So I never knew that when you die, your blood becomes, your body becomes blood, because your body have clotted. I don't know what happens. I'm not a mortician. So he was so black, and I felt so bad. I felt like they had not preserved his body well. I don't know. Okay, forget that. So after the burial, this is the time now I started mourning. Only my best friend was left, and some like 2 or 3 friends, and now my boyfriend at that time, who I also came to lose this same year. Sorry for another day. I don't want to cry again. At this time, I'm already smiling. So my boyfriend would come every day. He used to live in the other estate, the estate next to ours. He used to come every day. My best friend moved to our house. Remember, I have one more semester remaining. I was in the last year. So this last semester, we were in the same campus, KU, with my best friend. So she moved to our house to stay with me. For that one semester, I was with my best friend, and my boyfriend used to come every day. I would even drop at that estate, see him, and have some time. Then I would go home at night. So I never grieved even that time. So when I finished school, this is the time when I was saying in the other video that I was supposed to do driving, I started grieving my dad. It was like, now it have just happened. I got depressed for a very long time. By then, I wish I had the preacher I have right now, because he does cancer and he's so fatherly and everything. Sorry for another day. So after that, I grieved for a long time. I lost out of things. I lost a business and stuff. So imagine all this time, even the brothers and sisters, they don't care. They don't even call to know how you doing after now you have been left. I think the one is spreading rumors. That was a curse. And after some time, I think after 2 years, that's when they started coming to tell my mother, oh, we are sorry. It is even these ones refused to. Can you imagine? They refused to give my father a place to be buried. My brother went to ask them, why are you refusing to give your brother a place to be buried? And they were like, no, we can't give him a land. And it was not even my father's wish to be buried in those lands, because my father always said, if I die, I want to be buried in a cemetery. But the cemetery we went, like most of even the people there, they never knew it was a cemetery because it was so clean. There, you see how like the way cemeteries have a lot of crosses. That one I think only had three, so people thought it was our land. And then our that burial was so graced. Like our estate was so new. We only had like 50. I think 50 people at most, and right now we have more than 3,000 homes. I think we are more than 3,000 homes in right now. By then we were only 50, and even in our section we were only two. So we were together because we were the only family we had like around that time. So my father's burial was like a wedding. There was so much food, there was so much grace. My friends, I used to have so many friends. My friends filled a whole 60, is it 66 seats. They took two buses and one van. Like I had so many friends. I don't know where they went because right now I have less than 10 friends. I had so many friends. My friends were many even than my mother's. Like this was like my husband's burial because, and I pray that it never happened. God forbid. I'm not going to lose my husband. Okay, even if I'm not married right now. So that burial was like a wedding. It's only that there was a casket there because my friends from high school, from campus. Imagine I was only 20. I was only 20 and I had so many friends. Right now I'm 20, 25. I'm turning 26. I don't even have 10 friends I can count on. Anyway, it's okay. So yeah, that is the end of the story. So my relatives, they started coming back to talk to us like after 1 year, around 2 3 years. That's when they came back to their senses and started apologizing. Today they still apologize. And there came a time my mother forgave them immediately after that burial. My mother is the best. My brother, I don't know whether he have already forgiven them, but me, I forgive them in 2022, 2022, 23. That's the time I forgave them because now my preacher told me that you have to forgive them so that you can heal. But I thought it was good that I do this story because I know there are so many people out there who are going through the same thing that we went through that time. And families are good, but when there is hatred, when there is one of you who is trying to make you not be together, it is so bad. So if they have gone through that, that's something that happens. It's only that I was so surprised because I have had those things happening, and that machine is making a lot of noise. Oh, I have heard of those things happening, family rivalries, but I never thought our family would break because we were the closest. Can you imagine? Even the whole Ushago, like that praise, we used to be known that these families always come together every Christmas. Even people would come and join us for the Christmas because it would be a very big celebration. So I never pictured one day that these people would be separated because of anything. That way it was so hard for me. I wish they were not friends, even since we were young, but when this happened, I felt so much bitterness and hatred. I was so bitter every time I would tell God, please punish them for whatever they did. But it came to a point, all of them, they started getting some issues. I don't want to go into details because I don't want enmity with my family. They are still my family, I need them. People, they started getting things. This one get sicknesses, this one get roses. So they came back to their senses and they were like, maybe this is happening because of what we did to our brother. And I started apologizing to my mom, and I was like, we have already forgiven them. Like they used to be even shy to see us. The time I told my brother we are going to go for Christmas there because they still have those celebrations, but they are not as united as we used to be. You are going to find that this time 2 people never came or 3. But I told my brother, I think in 2022, when I finally forgave them that time, I told my brother we're going to go for that celebration there. But my mom was like, I have my own house. I'm not going anywhere. I don't know whether she have forgiven them, but I think she did. I think my mother is a good one. She already forgiven them. So I told my brother and the wife that and his wife, you're going to go for that holiday there. And we went, me and my brother and the wife and the kid, we went there and it was so boring. So we were like, where did the joy of these celebrations go? Because we are not even all of us here. What happened? Why did you let this happen? So I was asking the uncle that I found there, why did you people let the joy of this day go? Because this is not something that have happened ever since their parents were alive. They used to celebrate and it would be a big celebration. And that day it was so boring. I was like, and they told us your father was the life of this party, because my father was, he used to bring them together. You remember he was the oldest son, and they just, I told them, don't repeat those things. We are here because we forgave you. And they were like, we feel so ashamed of what we did. And I was like, no, that's okay, that is past. And I think by now we are at a good point. I'm always saying, my mom, if I get some good money, I'm going to call these people for a celebration, because now we already completed our house. By the time of that my father's death, the house was still incomplete. We completed our house. It is beautiful. It is everything nice. It is homely. I felt like I need to invite them over for celebrations, and we could forgive each other, and all that. So yeah, now my laundry is done, so I'm going to end this video here. So make sure you comment down below if you have anything to tell me. If you are going through that at this moment, it shall pass. It happens. If you have not yet gone through that, please pray that your family never breaks. If your family have never been together, it shall be better. Yeah, so that is all for today. I know this video is so long. I think it is 1.5 hours. I'm going to do a part 1 and part 2. So if you have not watched part 1, please go back and watch it. Yeah, and that is the story behind why you don't see my father on my channel. And I think you're not even going to see them, even my mother and my brother, because they are not camera friendly. But yeah, that is it. So the person would have been on the cameras is my dad, but because he's no longer there, let me give that story. So let's see each other on the next video. Bye. Love you all.